Hello there, my friends. This is Craig, and welcome to my channel, The Atheist Experiment. Let's start with a little update regarding my health. Week by week, I'm getting better and stronger. The cancer seems to have been eradicated, and I am now on immune system therapy. If you recall, this therapy is what doubles my odds of recovery from 25% to 50%. The oncologist now uses terms like curable cancer, which is very encouraging. So things are going well. My pain is at a tolerable level, and I am slowly being weaned off the pain meds and a variety of other meds I'm taking. The blood thinner, which is a daily injection, I will still have to continue to take for anywhere from a few months to a few years until the clots are safely dissolved. So I'm on the road to recovery, and I can't wait to gain enough strength back so I can get back to living life and going to work. I really miss my work. The only thing left to think about is the possibility or the recurrence, but maybe it's best not to think about that at all. I don't know, but I'll give it a try. So let's talk about how I came to be an atheist after 40 years of being Christian. It was really quite accidental. It wasn't deliberately trying to question my faith. There was no epiphany moment where I said to myself, maybe this religion isn't true. I should research this and come to a reasonable conclusion. Nah, that never happened. When I look back on it, the real catalyst for change was when I decided to finally start reading about something I had always been interested in, but never took the time to do: philosophy. My study of philosophy led me to many great revelations, and it also prompted me to read the Bible from cover to cover. So I did. So I would read every day at my desk during my 1-hour lunch. It takes a long time to get through the Bible, by the way, when you do it for only 1 hour every day. A co-worker saw what I was reading, and it sparked a conversation. Let's call him Justin. He was an atheist, yet he respected that I was Christian. We had more than one conversation about the subject over the period of time I worked with him, and he always challenged me in a humble and kind way. I valued our conversation, and I admired Justin's poise. I don't know if he had any influence on my deconversion, but I know that I have fond memories of our talks and of this gentleman in general. Anyway, back to reading the Bible. Isn't it strange that a Christian of 40 years has never read the Bible? That was me. I went to church every Sunday and holidays, yet I just allowed the minister to spoon-feed me my dose of storytelling every week, and I never questioned anything they said. So it occurred to me, if this is my experience, then it must be similar to everyone of my generation that went to my church. And if it could happen at my church, is it possible that it's happening at any other churches? Do most Christians not read the Bible for themselves? I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If you are a Christian and you have not read the Bible, you should. It's a real eye-opener. So that was the first time questioning my religion. I didn't even realize my deconversion was happening. It kind of snuck up on me by surprise. I actually was always searching for ways to debate atheists and win. But this was a foolish agenda because the more I read, the more I realized I couldn't win a single argument without throwing in there, I just have faith. Saying you just have faith is a conversation stopper and has no grounds in serious debate. My mom always told me a story about my grandfather who could convert Jehovah's Witness people who came to his door. Now that I understand street epistemology, I wonder how my conversations would go with him. The man I idolized through my mother, I wanted to be like him, to be that smart, to debate that well, but I didn't think I was smart enough. Now, when I hear religious apologists, I realize how ridiculous their arguments sound, which would have been my arguments. So, I continue to study philosophy, which leads to the study of religion, but it also leads to science. I have found that science and philosophy are so tightly connected that you can't study one without the other. The difference is that philosophy always leads to more questions, and so does science, but science will answer 1,000 questions along the road to the next question. Philosophy is only going places science hasn't been yet. As the science gets there, then philosophy becomes less and less relevant. Philosophy doesn't take religion into consideration much anymore because religion has kind of become irrelevant as well. Enough philosophers have realized this and don't spend much time on it, unless it is to speak of the historical significance of religion. So, very slowly and progressively, and with the aid of books, podcasts, conversations with people, etc., I deconverted from religion, and now I am an atheist. Now, you might want to ask me, why did it take 40 years? Why did it take so long? Why does an intelligent man believe stupid things? I don't think I can succinctly answer that question. I really don't know why I didn't see it sooner. I'm reading a book right now that asks that very question. The book is called Why Smart People Do Stupid Things by Gene Austrin. I'm about halfway through it, and maybe I'll have a better understanding once I finish the book, but so far it's very good. Growing up, I was not encouraged to read, and even school was a low priority. I know my parents were not deliberately restricting access to knowledge, because they're not that kind of people. You'll just have to take my word for that. But I think it is just part of the systematic church dogma that knowledge isn't that important. Yet the church is filled with lawyers and doctors and people of higher education. That smells of hypocrisy to me. God punished all of humanity very severely because Adam and Eve ate from the tree of knowledge. It must be the most sacred commandment. It is such a severe offense to gain knowledge that God condemned every person who ever lived and every person who ever will live, over 20 billion people and growing, to die and spend eternity in a fiery hell because only two people broke his most sacred rule: don't eat the fucking fruit. If God created us in his image, then he must have known we were unable to always follow the rules. And if two people can't follow his very first rule, then how are the rest of us supposed to do any better? This is the work of a psychopath. I have an idea why it took me so long to get out, and it has something to do with what I just talked about, but also it goes to show how malleable our minds are as small children. To be told from birth these stories of God and heaven as if they are factual is what we call indoctrination, and it's very powerful. So imagine you have been fed a bunch of lies about reality, and on top of that, knowledge is restricted. How would you ever know any better? And please don't use common sense against me, because there's no such thing as common sense as far as I'm concerned. Everything you know is learned. There is no inherent knowledge that you are born with. Common sense and intuition are different branches of the same tree. You react to things or understand things because of life experience, learning, training, or even indoctrination. Very rarely does an individual break free from religion because the forces keeping you there are so powerful. It's not about being stupid to fall for religion. Even if you fall for it later in life, it's usually because a person was vulnerable and at some point and susceptible to anything that might ease their pain. I have never heard a conversion story where the individual's life was moving along beautifully and perfectly when they found religion. In every story I've ever heard, the person was having some kind of existential crisis when they were preyed upon by a church-going individual who was so influential at a time of pain and suffering. They ended up convincing a person who may be looking for relief from their suffering to take up their faith and give life some meaning. So finally, let's talk about the wasted 40 years of my life following a storybook of truth. I was a bit angry at first. All that wasted time and effort I put into the church and my faith over the years. I could have done things so differently with a more realistic perspective. Now I live a life believing in the pursuit of happiness, but I wasted the first 40 years of my life thinking misery was okay, because I'll just go to heaven and this little life on earth will be over, and this earthly existence will not have even mattered. Well, now I have cancer, and I have suffered, like many others. If God has decided that my time is up and He is all loving, why not just kill me dead and bring me into heaven where I can finally rest? Why make me or anyone else suffer as we approach death? This idea is absurd considering He is supposed to be all loving and compassionate. So, that is a thorough examination of my story. If I've left you curious about anything, be sure to leave a comment and I will try to respond to you. Don't forget to leave a like or a dislike and click the follow button. It really helps out my channel and my self-esteem. Take care.
Hey there, my friends. If you enjoy my videos and you would like to see more, subscribe. And don't forget to scroll down and hit the little bell so you can get notifications. I will be putting out a video every Sunday evening, and if you like it, hit the like button. And if you don't like it, hit the dislike button. Also, leave a comment and let me know what you think. Catch you next time, and have a great week.